You are currently looking at Tropical Storm Gamma inside the Gulf of Mexico today. The National Hurricane Center putting out info today, putting the possibility for Hurricane Delta, the next name in the Greek alphabet, as a major hurricane in the Gulf in just 5 days. And I do not take that lightly. Welcome back, my friends. October 4th, 2020. 2:36 p.m. And once again, we are tracking Tropical Storm Gamma. Currently, as we speak, we are looking at 60-mile-an-hour winds, 997 millibars in pressure. Currently moving in a northern direction at a whopping 2 miles an hour. Still up in the air exactly what Gamma is going to do. Our current spaghetti plots have a pretty common movement into the southern part of the Gulf, staying in that area. But then, as you can see, a lot of these models are starting to turn this thing back around and shoot up north towards the United States. And this is where it gets interesting. This is where we have to take into account yet another storm. The next letter on the list would be D for Delta. And take a look at how these two storms are beginning to interact with each other as we look a little bit into the future. We could be seeing the possibility of a major hurricane or a strong Category 1 storm to Category 2 storm in the Gulf in less than 5 days. A possible landfall near Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, not out of the woods yet. As I move the cursor, you're going to see what we call the Fujiwhara effect. You see Tropical Storm Delta, if that is exactly what happens, moving into the Gulf and then interacting with Gamma, not really knowing which one is going to survive. We do know that one will, according to this data we have from the Canadian model now, as a storm. Taking a look at the GFS, a little bit of a different story here, but we still see that Fujiwhara effect, which will be very interesting to see this happen in the Gulf. It's not too often that we see things like this happen. It usually happens over open water, but check this out. As we move forward into time, we see Gamma entering the Gulf, and then Delta on its heels, and then watch the interaction between the two. There's the Fujiwhara right there. They spin around each other. One of the storms emerges, usually the stronger of the two, into a pretty significant storm, and this would be Delta, not Gamma. And finally, we have the European model, which also shows the Fujiwhara. So all three models now showing these two storms spinning around each other, with one of the two emerging and becoming a pretty significant storm. So that is three models. We will check the Navy model next, which, like I said, always likes to throw a little wrench into things. And in this version, we actually see the Fujiwhara effect again, so all four models showing that interaction, but in this one, Gamma is the one that actually survives and becomes a major storm. But look where it goes. It takes it right to the border, let me back up there, of Louisiana and Texas as a very strong storm. Taking all this info into account, the main message I want to get across to anyone living in the Gulf is that we need to be aware and prepared of the situation going on. Hurricane season is far from over, and for those of us that have been following storms for a long time, or even a short period of time, we understand that October is one of those months where these freak storms like to come out of the woodwork and make their presence known. And that is why when we get information like this so soon before a storm actually even forms, when they are predicting that storm to be as much as a Category 4, it needs to be reported. As you can see, Invest 92L, which will soon be Delta, has the potential to be a Category 4 based on already existing models that are out there tracking the atmospheric conditions and the way this storm could possibly form. But all in all, it's pretty rare to get a prediction of a hurricane of this size even before it has become a tropical depression. So a lot of expectations on that newly formed storm, or newly forming storm, soon to be Delta, which is currently Invest 92L. So in conclusion, to wrap up this segment, we already have the formed storm of Tropical Storm Gamma, and then the probably higher than 80% chance of Tropical Storm than Hurricane Delta forming. And the main question is, which one of these two storms is going to affect the United States and or the western side of Mexico, and if it will become a major hurricane? Signs are pointing to a lot of formation, a lot more than even just yesterday. I just want to take a second and thank each and every one of you that follow this channel, that have the notifications turned on, that comment frequently, that like asking questions. I really appreciate it. The reason I have this channel is for people like you. If you have not already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell so you can be notified on a daily basis for the updates on this channel. I enjoy putting all this content out to you on a daily basis. Thank you all so much, and of course, shout out to Canada, Ontario. Thank you all so much. I'll be back soon. Stay safe. Bye-bye.